I have a drawer. I have to do 8 of these drawers. They're 7 inches tall, and they're deep, so they can hold some weight. I need a nice strong drawer that isn't going to fall apart and isn't going to wear out either. I know that the material in this is rather soft. The case that this goes in is going to be cherry. So after a few years, I'm probably going to start seeing little white sawdust fall out of my piece because I have all that weight and it's actually wearing the wood away. So that's why I put these wear strips on the bottom. On this particular one, I used white oak because I have white oak. And another good alternative would be to use like hard maple. That'd be something hard that slides easy. I've gone a little extra here where I'm sure you've seen on the drawer I passed around. It sticks out the side. It's tongue and grooved into the drawer side. You could just glue on a 1/8 inch wear strip on the bottom if you really wanted to. Another strategy is just make it out of whatever you want. And have you ever seen the drawer glide tape at all? It isn't blue. It's actually clear. The blue is the backing. So this is that glide tape that you can usually I put on the case. So pass that around. And it's, you're like, oh, it's a strip of, it's basically overgrown Scotch tape. It works wonderfully. With a lot of use, it does wear out, but you just put another strip down, and as long as you have a drawer with it in it, you're fine. So I'll just show you quick how in the world I put this bottom on. Part of the reason I did this was just for me. No one will ever really know it's there. On this particular piece, there's going to be a false front on, so all of this stuff gets covered by a solid drawer front. The only time you'd ever see this is if you pull the drawer out, look at the bottom, and go, what in the world is going on? So the big reason I did this too is it gives me a great way to actually lock everything together while I glue it up. So the runner has just a groove in it. Pretty easy to do. You could just run that at the table saw really quick. This has a groove to fit it. So what you'd have to do is cut the groove and then cut this tongue to fit in the groove so that the inside edge is flush, and on mine, the outside sticks out. You could just run this so it's flush on both sides as well. So this is actually what I start out with for the base. And that's a good point. If I'm trying to run that at the saw, I don't want to have that little strip and try to be running it over the blade, because then for us, we're really testing the effectiveness of the saw stop. You just flat out know something's going to go wrong. So on this, I use a wider board as a handle. And for this, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I actually have a hand plane to do this. This is a Stanley tool. This one is not new by any means. This probably came out, this particular model was post-World War II plane, but let's see if I can turn this. On this side, it has a little 1/8 inch blade, and I'll turn it right. So to your right, there's an 1/8 inch blade, so that's going to cut that groove. Then on the other side, it has a blade with a notch in the middle that so happens to be 1/8 of an inch wide, and that is going to cut the tongue. So you can still get these. They just reside on eBay or in antique stores. But there are companies that if you want to do this by hand, they still make tongue and groove planes today. Or, like I said, you could do this just on the table saw. You could get your router table out and do this. You could do it a myriad of ways. So all I'm doing is pushing it, and every time the plane moves across, it takes a shaving. And when it stops cutting, I know I'm done. Maybe one more. Yep, not cutting anymore. So the next step is I'm just going to rip off the bottom. Do that at the bandsaw. Okay. Oh, might as well leave these up here. Now we have to cut the tongue. This is a tongue and groove plane. This particular one is a Stanley 146. And the good news is it's the most rare of the entire line, so you're welcome. They made a 147 and a 148. This actually, if I can hold it up, it cuts a centered tongue and groove joint on 3/8 inch thick stock. The 147 would be 5/8 inch stock, and the most common of them is the 148, and that cuts on 7/8 stock. And then they had a different style. It looks different than this, than the flip around push pull. They had a 48 and a 49 that did 3/4 and 1/2 inch stock as well. And then you have all the other companies making similar things as well. But Lee Nielsen still makes tongue and groove planes. You can get a tongue and groove plane attachment for Veritas Lee Valley plow plane. So this stuff is still around. It's just a neat little way to do stuff quickly without having to set up machines. And so that would lock on there right now. Now, I should explain this too. I've already run the groove in the back. So on this particular setup, I know that my bottom is going to slide in from the back. I don't need this groove to go all the way down, so I stopped it. One little thing that I hate that no one ever sees is when you do a side like this, this would be for the front, this would be for the back, and then you have a groove in the bottom. So you have this random piece of wood back here that's not doing anything because your dado went right through. So when you look on the bottom of the drawer, you have this just random joint mark. On the bottom of this drawer, you don't have the random joint mark. So I'm sorry, things that no one ever sees bothers me. So. So yeah, that's how I'm putting this corner together. And, you know, it's a little bit of work, but the nice thing is when I glue it together, it's not moving around, it's locked in there, and I've added a little bit more glue surface area so it can't go anywhere. Makes the joint a little bit stronger. And going back to wood selection, I know with these, this set of drawers, this wood, it's not going to be the strongest drawer in the world. It's not going to be heavy. And the wood is pretty stable, but I have everything in these drawers from quarter sawn grain to flat sawn grain, a little bit of rift sawn, and maybe that's all in one board. So I don't want to take the chance of this thing swelling up vertically. I don't want to take the chance of it swelling up side to side. So this little runner keeps all of this away from everything in the case. I can run this almost tight to the case, and if I have to make any adjustments, all I have to do is shave off a little bit of this. I don't have to touch the side at all.